Hello, so today I will be analyzing a scene from the movie named The Mule that was directed, produced, and starred in by Clint Eastwood. The scene that I will be analyzing is shown here. It's the ending scene of the film. It's the court scene where they are determining whether or not Earl is guilty of his charges. So I apologize if you have not seen this film already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this scene and stop the video when I want to point out something regarding the editing. And before I start the video, I'll explain the first part of the scene. So the scene begins with an opening or an establishing shot of the outside view of the courthouse where they're having the trial. So if you pay close attention, the camera very slowly zooms out of the view of the courthouse while the judge is speaking, and then the next shot moves to the inside of the courtroom and continues that conversation between the judge and the attorney. So this is a good technique to set up the scene because, it's a pretty important one. So I'll start it up.
Earl Stone is a man who served this country, fought for our freedom, and now faces the loss of his own. Murdering cartel thugs who not only took advantage of his good nature, but also his advanced age, his vulnerability. Your Honor.
Guilty.
Earl.
Mr. Stone, you should talk to your attorney.
Earl, don't do this. Earl.
Guilty, Your Honor. I did it.
Mr. Stone, are you pleading guilty on all charges?
Yes.
Bailiff, take him into custody. Mr. Stone, you are remanded into federal prison.
Okay, so with that little section, we see a good example of continuity editing because the shots were clean and smooth and they were very, natural looking. So it actually made it look like what a person would be paying attention to if they were actually in the courtroom observing this trial. So for example, it showed Earl's family's reactions, which is what someone would pay attention to. It showed some of the jury's reactions. It showed, at one point an overlook of how many people were in the courtroom. So that's all the things that people would be paying attention to if they were physically there, and I think that's important in a film. So if you watched the movement of the camera also, it followed Earl as he stood up to say he was guilty, and that was very smooth. And then the shots that moved from the judge to the attorney or, to Earl, they were all very clean. So overall, it kept a constant, smooth flow from shot to shot, which is exactly what continuity editing follows. And it really made the court scene feel realistic while you were watching it. So I do feel as if this was a good continuity editing example because of that specifically.
You did a good job.
We'll come visit you every chance we can.
Thanks.
I'm not gonna have to look after the farm, don't you worry, Grandpa.
I know you will. And just time is all. I could buy anything, but I couldn't buy time.
It's okay. I love you.
Thank you.
You still always know where you are.
Court is adjourned.
Just want to point out there where they show the shot at his feet and then they move up slowly to his family watching him leave in handcuffs. It starts out as a low angle shot towards the ground and moves upward slowly away from the ground. And I think this is mainly to show, his old age, maybe to show that he's worn out, by the way he's walking. And then the family's reactions are shown directly after that, which creates sort of an emotion for the audience because this family has to watch, their poor dad and grandfather go to prison. So I just think that specific shot was a good way to create emotion for the audience.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
And then right at the end of that, unfortunately, I'm getting these clips obviously from YouTube. So in the movie, that shot that points upwards towards the ceiling right now that we're seeing, that was just shown right here. It actually does dissolve into the next scene where Earl is shown actually in prison planting flowers. So that's what I'll show next, but I just wanted to point out that right here in between those two scenes there is a dissolve transition used in the movie. I just couldn't find a clip that actually showed that. So this is the next scene right after this one.
Outside.
Sorry.
Don't let the old man in. I wanna live me some more. Can't leave it up to him. He's knocking on my door. And I knew all of my life that someday it would end.
So this is the last shot of the movie. The camera is tilting up slowly, starting by showing the outside of the fence of the prison very close up, and then ending up at a high angle shot of the prison inside that fence. So I think this tilting shot helps to symbolize, the outside looking in view, because it wants to show that, he's in prison, but he's still managing to live his life peacefully, doing what he loves. He had a gardening business. Now he's gardening in prison, so he's doing the same thing he likes. But it's kind of like the film's attempt at a happy ending. So I think that was a good technique for that as well. But other than that, that's about all I have for this scene and this video. So thanks for watching.